because I feel like this is a conversation. All right, so the logo is no longer gone, but actually I'm going to fade back to the graphic again because the Minnesota Vikings. Because the Minnesota Vikings are a legitimate playoff contender. On FUV, I picked them as my dark horse, not necessarily Super Bowl contender, but just the team that if they get into the playoffs will fuck shit up for good teams.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get in there and just make everything an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
You're a Vikings fan. They're playing the Detroit Lions.
I have a whole lot to say about what you just said.
Say some stuff. No, because how do you feel about my take?
I feel like you are absolutely correct. Granted, certain things happen the way they should. So the way I see the Vikings right now.
So what you're saying is if things work out the way you want them to,
you might be right.
I might be right. If things work out the way I'm saying that they will work out.
So the whole story about the Minnesota Vikings, not very hard to gather. Very good team when they play the way they're supposed to, given the talent that they have.
Interesting.
I mean, we beat some very good teams. Granted, we beat the number one in the NFC at the time, Packers. This
is true.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's true.
When we play at the top of our game,
when you play good football, you're a good football team.
I feel like we could potentially be the best in the league.
In the entire NFL.
When we play the best that we can.
That's a bit of a stretch. Here's what I'll say about your Minnesota Vikings.
I'm not done talking.
Continue that.
However, the story has been most of the time we don't do that.
I think
so. The Minnesota Vikings tend to lose.
If I could get a word.
Yeah. No. Let me finish. Actually, no. You can't get a word in. So I feel like we could definitely get to the playoffs. The whole fuck shit up thing entirely depends on what mood the Vikings are feeling in the game.
The Vikings are the team that will fuck around and find out.
Absolutely.
We're in the fuck around stage. We will be finding out later.
We will be finding
out eventually.
We will be finding out whether they actually want to be good this year.
All right, so here's what I'll say about the Minnesota Vikings. You guys play to the level of your opponent, which would bode well in the playoffs. But, here's the question I'll pose to you. When have you ever entered a fourth quarter and been like, I can turn this game on off, I know how it will end?
Never. It hasn't been a single game.
Right. It's been, the Vikings, I think, have, statistically been, have had, the closest margins in all their games.
Yeah.
They have one game that's been decided by double digits. It was a 30-17 win over the Seahawks.
I would mention.
I don't want to do math right now, but I would bet you that their average score differential either way is 3 or 4 points.
Before you continue, I would also like to mention the Vikings are the only team in the league to, at one point during every game, lead by at least 7 points.
Really?
And I think that says a lot about the potential that we have that we just don't fulfill because of how inconsistent the team is.
You guys have been in 3. Again, just looking at you've been in 3 overtime games, which is insane. All
right, so continue
what I was going to say about the Vikings is the reason I think that you could be the fuck shit up playoff team is that when you play a good team, I would say every single time you play at the very least up to their standards. Because when you lose to good teams, it's close.
Yeah.
You lost to the Cardinals by 1.
Because of a missed field goal. The story of the Minnesota Vikings, by the
story
way.
of your entire franchise.
Missing field goals.
Lost to the Cowboys by 4.
Yep.
Lost to the Ravens by 3. Back when the Ravens were good.
Also, a missed field goal in there that could have ended the game.
Your ugliest loss, I guess, is a 14-7 loss to the Browns.
The Browns.
That's an ugly loss.
Which is also a one-score loss.
I forgot about the Week 1 overtime loss to the Bengals.
To the Bengals, which
you should have won.
Which you should have won.
Wasn't there also field goal stuff
missed
there?
field goal at the end of the fourth quarter, which ended up going to overtime, and the Bengals won.
It's your second worst loss, I would say. You should not have lost by 8 to the 49ers. I think you're decisively a better team than them. And if you win that game, you would knock down the second wildcard spot. What happened the last time you played the Vikings? You won by 2.
We won.
You won by 2.
It does not matter.
I think a good measure for how good a team is how confident you are when they play the Detroit Lions. How confident you are that they come up with a win. If I put a gun to your head and said, I don't know where. Listen, confident that the Vikings will win? Here's the ultimatum I would give you. You could go on and say, yes, the Vikings are 100% beating the Detroit Lions. If they lose, you get shot in the head. Or you could say, I'm uncertain and live.
I cannot say that.
You see, and that's a problem.
We should win 100%.
Because what I would go as far as to say is I think even if the Dallas Cowboys, who we have shit on today,
because
I'm 100% confident they can go out and beat the Detroit Lions.
I'm 100% confident that the Vikings could go out and beat the Detroit
Lions.
Well,
obviously they could beat the Lions. We wouldn't be talking about them as a good team if they couldn't.
Yeah.
But, again, they play down to some of their opponents because every game is close.
Yeah.
So, if you don't beat the Lions decisively, I still have to hold out a little bit.
Yeah.
Your next 3 games are a really big temperature. It's Lions, Steelers, Bears.
Yeah. So it's pretty.
You should win.
We should win out, but then we got Packers again.
You have Rams, Packers,
and then Bears to end the season.
Honestly, don't care if you lose against the Rams or the Packers in the regular season, as long as you play competitively.
Listen,
I just want to see you. I mean, I know you care. I just want to see the Vikings play. Like, if you lose to the Rams...
I would be very disappointed if we lost to the Packers. Because I'm a Vikings fan. Packers' main rival. I hate the Packers.
If you lose to the Rams and the Packers by a margin of 3 or less, I'm confident you guys going into the playoffs saying you could
I will say,
compete.
The way the Rams have been playing recently, we should beat them.
I want to say this about the Lions comparison. I'm not trying to shit on Detroit. I like them.
Bad. I like the Lions, too.
I don't think the Lions are the worst team in the NFL. I think that's the Jaguars.
I would say the Texans.
Texans have won weird games.
They did win against the
Texans
Titans.
beat the Titans. I don't think they're the worst team. I think it's the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are the worst team in the NFL. I think the Lions are the second worst, but they're oddly competitive. They could beat a bad team.
Yeah.
If
the Lions are
the Lions losing to the Bears was the final straw in the coffin, the final nail in the coffin that says, you're at least the second worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.